Good evening. You wanted to do a video on how to create a power portfolio in FinViz and what you can do with that. And this is really the meat of, how I stay on top of the market, how I beat the market every single year, how I monitor the market, how I know when to exit the market, and when to enter and when to get out. So we know from bar chart, let's go to bar chart. Okay, we know from bar chart how to locate um, top performing sectors, top performing stocks, top performing ETFs. So let's just run through that exercise. Let's go to ETFs, and we're going to look at um, major ETFs. All right, and this list gives us the list of all the global ETFs, the big players like the Qs, the IWM, international ETFs. And if you scroll down, obviously you've been through this before, but you see the industries, and you go to sub-industries like home builders, biotech, aerospace defense, and you can go to commodities. There are ETFs and all kind of things. But what we want to do is sort this by performance. So we click performance, and we're going to alpha weight that. And as you can see, the top performers are listed from top to bottom. And I don't really mess around too much with international ETFs yet, but I plan to one day. But you would want to be looking at getting maybe into the Qs or the Dow Jones right now for global. You would look at utilities, telecommunications. For industries, you would look at VNQ for real estate. And for commodities, silver, bonds, TLT, and FXY for Japanese yen. So we know what the top performing ETFs are in each category. And what we're going to do now is go to FinViz, and we're going to create a portfolio that will simulate, track, and show us the performance of each of those um, major ETFs. Okay, here we are at FinViz, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to portfolio, and then you want to create a new portfolio, so you're just going to hit create new, and this is where you type in your different ETFs that we just looked at. So let's say that we wanted to, for global, we were going to get into the Dow Jones, DIA. For industries, we were looking at XLU. For utilities, um, we looked at sub-industries, and right now, um, real estate VNQ, the VNQ ETF for real estate. We're going to also get into, let's say we get some bonds, TLT, and we're going to get some FXY, FXI, Y, I believe, which is the Japanese yen ETF. And then the next step is to, so that's all of them. The next step is to recalculate based on a $100,000 portfolio. So it's going to equally weight all of these ETFs so that it basically takes 100,000, divides it by 5, and then gives you the appropriate number of shares for each ETF. All right. And then you're going to create a name. We're going to call this major underscore ETF. We're going to save that. And this is our portfolio. Okay. So once that portfolio is created, there's a lot of cool things you can do. You can open this in the screener, and you can look at the performance of it over a year, how everybody's doing individually, year-to-date performance. You can look at valuation, financial. I don't get too much into that. You can look at each of the charts. This is a really cool feature that we kind of skimmed over. But what you're looking at now is all the ETFs in the portfolio. You're looking at their individual charts, the charts at one time. All right. And this allows you to just quickly glance the charts at one time, so you can see. We know this is a portfolio that is a long portfolio, meaning it's in the top performing group. We know that these are all trending up, and we want to find entry points. Those entry points, for example, would be at support, or in VNQ, you're almost back into support. For FXY, you're still coming off resistance. For the Dow Jones, you're touching on resistance. You have to wait a little bit. So this allows you to time your entry. For TLT, coming back to support right here. And we'll get a little more into that. So it looks like, for example, XLU is retracing back into support. So you would be going in the next week looking at getting XLU. That's charts. Okay. Stats is another cool feature. And there's some things that says sectors, 100% financial, market cap, 100% USA, 100%, this portfolio is 100% exchange traded funds. And what this graph does is it compares the selected stocks to the SPY. And that's what you weight everything against. And you can see that the group has performed since January, or from year to date, is 20% up, about 18%. And the SPY is 6.81% up. So it's a good way to monitor your group as a whole. And it's a good way to look at them individually, like we just saw in charts. Okay, I think what we'll do is show you, let's go into VNQ. And let's say you were going into next week and you thought that you were going to go long on VNQ. Then you would go to the interactive chart. And this is a nice chart because you can see clearly that the moving averages are moving up. And you're looking for a retracement back to the support zone. So once you see that retracement, you want to look for a green candle, and then that will be your entry. And you can follow that on the 15-minute basis, a daily basis, a weekly basis. But really the 15 or the daily is really the best one to give you a good signal, give you enough detail where you can see the candles. Weekly is a little too long, and monthly certainly If you were just going to want to check in once a month, this is the one you'd be looking at. Okay, if you want to check in once a day, and you thought the entry was getting close, for example, you see a little retracement back to this zone, then this is the one you look at. And I think that's it for now. Okay.